Welcome to Board Game Empire. We're going to be giving you a brief overview and a review and our thoughts on Sand by Devir Games. So this is a game where you are trying to collect the most coins.
It's pick up and delivery.
Right. So you are basically picking up goods and delivering goods while balancing your food. All this is done on a worm, I should say that. You're riding a sandworm. And you've got to keep up with your worm's health and their food, their water. So all the while you spend these resources to move your worm. So you have to, balance that out. There's also a resource on your resource board. So there's water, food, health. You have prayer and prestige. The prayer is used to manipulate your dice pips. Because to move your worm based on how high your worm has evolved, you will be required to have a certain amount of pips on the dice. The basic worm, it's to move on the fastest path. It's going to cost you a dice with 6 on it. So if you don't have a dice with 6, you will need to spend either prayer or coins for each pip. To bring it up to 6 so you're able to move that. As you deliver goods, you'll be able to turn over your worm and evolve it to the next level, and then there's another level. We didn't get our worm that far, but that you could actually evolve it to. So you're just basically moving your worm along the faster path or the slower path. Slowers cost less resources, the faster cost more. You're going to cities and what are they called? Cities, ports, and oasis.
Yeah,
right?
oasis.
And you're going to be getting points or more coins when you sell resources. If you've sang a song in some towns, that gives you more prestige. Also, your prestige tracker adds to your amount of coins you get when you sell resources. It goes back to 0 as soon as you deliver, but the higher it is, the better, because that equates to coins at the time of selling. So you're just going to be moving your worm across these paths, hopefully picking up some resources. When you pick up a resource, you have to use the token of the same color to pick it up.
That does lock them, though.
Yeah, and then you would put it in your thing, and then that die is locked until you deliver it or abandon it or put it in your shelter. So abandoning, basically, you don't get to deliver it, but if anytime during the game you can use that as a free action as if it was this color token later. So it might help you later if you need an extra blue, because there are times when you wish you had 2 blues.
And if you put in your city, pretty much you have to go to your city, collect it, and then go to whatever location you need to pretty much sell.
Right. And these cities here depict what colors they're purchasing. If you only are selling onesie twosies of a color, like of just 1 and 1, you're going to get the least amount, which is 1 coin. It's shown on the bottom of your player board. If you are able to collect the 2 that they want with the green plus sign, then you'll get a resource. I can't remember what they're called. Relics and what are those called?
They're different ones. But then you also get the 2-in-1 for it.
I can't remember. Relics and crafts, I think.
Yeah.
I just call them pink cubes, green cubes, yellow cubes. But you're making those basically, and those are better rewards when you deliver them on your player board, because you have these tracks that you're putting each of your goods that you delivered throughout the game, and each time there's a reward each time you do that. You'll be covering up that you're unlocking. On these though, the special ones, the rewards are much higher and quicker, and as you can see, there's less boxes to cover in that one. You're going to be mostly covering with the basics, the blue, red, black, and white, which are the same colors as your tokens. To heal your worm, you have to use 2 tokens, your red or your white and your black. And basically, you're going to be choosing which dice has the higher amount of pips. That's how much you get to heal your worm by. So that uses up 2 of your actions. And at the beginning of the game, you only have 3 actions. You do not unlock that action until, when does it unlock?
What are you
I'm
talking
trying to
about?
remember when that unlocks.
What?
When you unlock your... It's when you evolve your worm.
Yeah.
You could see here it's on the worm. And you get an immediate reward of resources when you evolve him. So by the time you've delivered your second good, you're going to evolve that worm. And you then have 4 actions, and it gets a little easier, but it's still challenging to keep that balance. Your coins are here in different shapes and styles. They range from 1 to 100. So again, you're trying to collect the most coins. You do have is it a companion or a traveler? I think it's a traveler is what they called it. These are your companions over here.
You do get
There's 2 sides. There's a basic side with no ability, and there's the other side with the ability. We played with the ability. No one's able to remove my songs when they go to the same towns or cities, but I can remove. That's part of the game. If you go to a city after someone, you can remove their song and replace it with yours.
Mine is anyone goes to dice goes to 6, so it helps me.
No, 1. You can flip the dice.
Yeah.
Over.
Yeah, right. It goes to a 6, and then pretty much I will be pretty much the reason you would do that is so you could travel the quickest route. Otherwise, you have to go 2 different routes to get to the same location most of the time.
Yeah, that helped him because I had to use a lot of coins in prayer to bring the dice up to the right number so I could move. I noticed you do get stuck a lot in this game. You have to abandon quite a bit of goods to be able to keep moving because it locks up, especially if you have 2 trying to collect these. I was not able to do it until almost the end of the game to do a combination. And I think you only did it once during the whole game as well. It's really tough to do that. You pretty much abandon them, and once you have your shelter, it's kind of easier, but you have to go to your shelter and then all the way back to where you're selling those 2 goods. So.
Well, the reason is because you can only pick up 1 resource at a time, as opposed to if you get a certain companion, you're able to pick up 2 resources of the same color at a time. But other than that, you're pretty much just picking up 1 resource at a time, and then when you do that, it also locks up your one of your moves. So
yeah, if you're fortunate enough to unlock your companions, I think they're called, and you do that by delivering goods, there'll be looks like a little person. You get to unlock your companion of choice. He unlocked the one, which is a pretty good one, because that one was a great one when he got it. It was early game, earlier than I did. He's able, instead of having to play both white and black to heal his worm, he could play 1 or both, but count them separately. So instead of having to choose, he basically gets to add both dice to his health if he wants, or just one of them. Was a lot later in the game, so I got the one where I could bulk up and put 2 of the same color on the same slot. So I could just basically do this if I wanted, and it doesn't take up any another action or slot. So that was really, I never used it, but it would have been an advantage if I had it longer in the game.
that's pretty much everything.
Yeah, I think I covered everything except for here. You're playing over 5 days, and they are 3 phases: morning, noon, and night in each day. I didn't cover these. Are your mission cards at the end of each round? You're going to be choosing. You have number of players plus 1, I think, or no, we had 4. So you go. That's how you also determine player order for the next round. Is you go by the numerical order on the bottom of the cards, which are not there.
Oh, but yeah,
These.
I was looking at the rounds.
Their numbers are really tiny down there. Whoever chose the highest number is first player, and then it goes on from there. But they give you either an instant reward on top or an in-game score if you think you can complete that or you try for it, that you get more coins at the end of the game.
And these are determining rounds as well.
Right, so you're going to be putting out 4 of those at the end of the prior round for the next round.
And with the upkeep, you just put the resources.
Yeah, put all the cubes out and re-roll the dice. And then you just keep round after round, or day after day, doing the same thing until the last, you went to the 5th day.
And finished.
3rd phase. And then whoever had the most coins after they count up their missions that they completed, add in their little tribe bonuses they got, and then whoever had the most coins wins. So what did you think of it?
I really like the components illustration. It's really cool design and everything. Pretty much the rule book needs a lot of improvement. I wish that it was more organized. It does have it where you go from page to page. It doesn't go all the information in one single page. So the rule book just needs that fine tuning and everything. I think that would allow the game to flow smoothly, and also, when you play your first game. So great components. Rule book needs help. Then there's replayability, high replayability, because there's always the resources are always added after each day. There's a lot of things you can unlock, a lot of resources and different locations you could go to. So, and the setup time is not that long, 5 to 7 minutes. So high replayability. Mechanics, because of the lack of the rule book being fine-tuned, you're always going back and forth because there's a lot of iconography. There's 2 player aids, but there's also a lot of information that's not in the player aids that should be. There's also the mechanic. You do lock up at times, and there's a lot of downtime between players. I would say probably 3 to 5 to 6 minutes downtime between each individual player. There's also going from location to location. A lot of times you're going to be spending 2 turns just to get to that location, and so that's going to limit overall what you can do because you're pretty much traveling. So there's a lot of mechanisms that I would say it's a little fiddly and locks you up at times, and there's times that you really can't do much. So overall total, I'm giving this like a 6 out of 10. I love the design. I think some of the mechanics work very well, but most of it does lock it up at times. I think that this is a game that should have been fine-tuned a little bit more before release, and I just wanted more. I think that this game definitely needs a revised edition with mechanics that flow smoother, better rule book, but the design illustration is phenomenal. So 6 out of 10.
Oh, I did forget to mention these little rewards. When you collect 4 of a certain color, it's of your basic colors, you get those, and it makes them worth 1 point for each color that you delivered of that color.
Yeah.
So for me, I did not really enjoy this game. The rules I'm really picky. If the game has horrible rules, for me, it's hard for me to enjoy the game. Especially this one, the rules are not chronologically placed in the rule book. It's a very long rule book. I mean,
well, not that.
It's 30 pages?
And the game is an hour, 120 minutes. So for the rule book to be not fine-tuned for such a long game, it's
34 pages. That's a lot of pages to read through, and the information's not in one place for each thing. Like, it'll refer you. Like, it seems like the information should all be on that page, but then it'll say see page. It'll give you a little snippet. See page. This page. I did use the index, which helped a lot, but you still have to go from page 10 to page 20 to somewhat find your answer. It was kind of vague too. There was a lot of vagueness in the rule book. There was a few questions we had, so we just started watching a few videos and playthroughs to see if we could figure it out that way. But again, the rule book makes this game way more complex than it should be. It's really simple mechanics, but to figure it out, like, you're just like over this game before you even start playing because of the rule book. But it did take us, I'm not even kidding, and I saw several people with the same comment. It took us days just to really play it, because we started to play it, and then, like, after we read this I mean, I usually do the reading. I read through this book a little bit, and it was just like, is this a college course I'm studying for? And so we decided, we tossed that and said, we're just going to watch some videos. And so after that, I was able to use the book more as a reference point. But yeah, that just ruined the game for me. But and then it was just kind of clunky. Like, I got stuck a lot. And it just, I don't know, it just doesn't flow very well. It just wasn't, for me, it was not fun. But I will say this. I would say by the 5th day, we finally really got a groove going.
5th day of the game.
Right. The very last round, basically, of the game. The 3 phases of the last day. Is really when it started. We didn't really need to look at the book. I would say 4th day.
Yeah, 4th.
But
for me, 3rd. It took you.
It took me longer.
Yeah.
But it was... yeah, it's 4th or 5th day, so you're really going to play almost the whole game and struggle through it and probably not have that much fun. If it's a game you play often, then it would probably be more fun because you have, you don't have to struggle with that rule book and stuff. But yeah, so for me, that's like and I don't enjoy games like that. So for me, I would not suggest this game, but we will put the link in the description. Everyone's different, so maybe this is a game you might truly enjoy, and maybe it would be worth it to you to put in that learning game, and then after that, you could just teach others how to play this game.
How would you rate it?
I would give this a 5 for me. It's not one I would play it if someone else asked me to play this game, but I would never suggest playing this game. So, but
and Devir has a lot of games.
Yeah, we like their games.
This is like the first one that it's like we're like
right.
And a big factor of it was the rule book, and also some of the lack of flowing mechanics.
Yeah, it was very clunky.
Yeah,
the whole game was clunky. So for me, a fun game is, I like complex games sometimes, but it's just...
What's the Red Cathedral that they make that we loved?
Yeah. It's just, when you have games where there's a lot going on like this, you really need to hone down those rules for everyone so they can figure it out. But we will put the link in the description if you want to check this out. Hopefully this helped you to decide whether this is a game you might want to add to your collection. It just came out this year, so it is a newer one. So... thank you for watching. Feel free to leave a comment or question. We hope you'll give this video a like. If you're not already, please subscribe. And thank you again. And we look forward to seeing you next time.